We continue here, Football Friday on Ruskin and Zach, brought to you by Casano's Pizza. And, the Razorbacks are not playing this week.
Didn't play last week either.
They haven't played for some time. But a lot of high school football. We actually hit the halfway point of the season following the games tonight, the regular season, with 5 games in the books when everything gets done tonight. And Brad Caldwell is with us from the Arkansas Sports Network to take a look at the action around the state. Hi, Brad. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Excited for another great week of high school football.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we've got some great games to talk about. Now, let's, as we always do, let's start with your game and your D3 Auto Sales Player of the Week.
Yeah, our game this week is Spring Hill's visiting Dirks, and it just happened to be that our Player of the Week was Peyton Bowerman of Dirks, and he threw for 376 yards and 7 touchdowns last week against Lafayette County. And of course, you always get an opportunity to vote for that. And of course, some people just get on there and just vote. And Dirks was the one that won out this time, and we're glad for that. Of course, we appreciate anybody that jumps on and votes with us here because Peyton had a big game, 376 and 7 touchdowns. I don't care if you're playing against the air. That's pretty good. So, he was our player of the week, or D3 Auto Sales Player of the Week. And then our game this week is Dirks and Spring Hill. And, they're heavy into that team mobile, fix up your field type of thing. And, of course, a place like Dirks could use that tremendously. And so we've been able to help out, try to get that vote out for them. Right now, as far as I know, they're in the lead across the nation right now as far as their votes go. So I encourage anybody to go. You can go to our page on Facebook, and all you got to do pretty much is find a Dirks post, and they're there. There's the link there. So just go out, vote for them, and let's help a small school here in Arkansas get across the finish line.
Love that idea, man. You get those renovations, and it changes the whole outlook of your program.
Oh, yeah, and, we would help anybody in Arkansas, but when you're talking about a place like Dirks that really needs it, let's jump on board, jump on the bandwagon, and try to help them.
Fantastic. Love it.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff there. So that'll be the Arkansas Sports Network game tomorrow. All right, so as we are on Friday, as we look at the games here, and some other games that are going on here tonight. Let's start in the 7, and let's start with a Rogers team headed to Harmon Field to take on Fayetteville. Fayetteville stinging a little bit after what happened at Bentonville West last week. Turnovers turning directly into points. And Rogers is really on fire, maybe one of the hottest teams in the state right now.
Yeah, Rogers really well coached. Love Coach Harbison there at Rogers. And you're right, Fayetteville's reeling a little bit here. 2-2 on the season now. 2 weeks ago we were thinking Fayetteville, definitely one of the top teams in the 7A West. Now you're looking at Fayetteville and saying, are they going to be in the top 4? Of course, that's how it works. From week to week, this is how it works. And, of course, you look at the 7A West right now with Rogers, Bentonville West, and Bentonville. Those top 3 there, it seems to be anyway. They're very solid teams. And so Fayetteville's got their hands full this week against Rogers. And, Jeff Regan is a kid right now that, I know that you guys have talked about him not getting enough play here in the state, man. He's a great quarterback. And like I said, I love Harbison because Harbison just he's like an offensive whisperer. He's a quarterback whisperer. And so, they're going to put up points. Fayetteville's going to have to be able to match them. And really, when you look at Fayetteville, they've struggled on defense this year. So they're in a matchup problem, I feel like, tonight.
Rogers doesn't play a ton of defense. You mentioned Fayetteville's kind of struggling a little bit. They've lost 2 in a row. And you and I talked about that 3 weeks ago where they were going down to Texas High and then coming back up and playing Bentonville West. And you're going through this really, really difficult stretch. Rogers isn't – I think, and this is just – I've not laid eyes on Bentonville – but I think Rogers, and we'll talk about the Bentonville West game here in a second, I think Rogers and Bentonville West are playing for the 1 and the 2. I think those 2 teams are outstanding.
Very good teams and really surprises. Of course, Bentonville, right now, Bentonville looks so good. Just in comparison, as far as just what you looked at last year, started off 0-3. Now they're turning around and they're 4-0 now after this last week. And right now the 7A West belongs to Bentonville until somebody shows them otherwise. But the other two, Rogers and Bentonville West, are going to be big time challengers, and really I'm interested to see those two match up with Bentonville to see what they have.
The Ruskin Zach Bowl is tonight.
Right.
Bentonville West travels down to Springdale. It's homecoming at Springdale. The Dogs are coming off a big 33-7 win over Heritage, and as Derek mentioned, the West just blew out Fayetteville. Give me something on this one. Obviously, I think when you look at this, the way Bentonville West is trending right now, destiny's in their hands.
Yeah. I mean, big time win last week. I think they showed us who they were. I feel like they're getting better as well. Going down to Greenwood in week 1 like they did, almost coming out with a win. I think this week right now they're better than they were, and so they're right now anybody that takes them on, they have their hands full. And Springdale's that team this week. And again, the biggest thing with Bentonville West right now is don't stub your toe. Win the games you're supposed to win. Tonight is one of those games that they should win against Springdale. And so, just as long as they can stay on the good side, you're going to have your Rogers game coming up, your Bentonville game coming up. They just won the game against Fayetteville that they needed to win to kind of make themselves move up into the pecking order, and that's exactly what they did.
I think this is a tremendous challenge because it was one of those sandwich games. Like, you got Fayetteville last week, Rogers coming up next week, and in the middle, a road trip to Springdale. It's kind of a funky system. You don't see all that often anymore. It's going to be a great challenge for Bentonville West tonight, and homecoming and all that stuff.
Coach speak.
Well,
Coach
it is.
Speak.
It's a tricky spot.
Stop it.
It's a tricky spot. Sandwich between two
Literally meat between buns.
Yeah, well, kind of meat between buns. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we're talking with Brad Caldwell here on the Arkansas Sports Network. All right, let's go to some other games here. Farmington is up in Harrison.
That's a little game. That's a football game, isn't it?
How about that?
Yeah, it's a big one, and big one for Harrison right now. They're trying to kind of get themselves up into that top of the pecking order. Well, how do you do it? You beat Farmington. That would be a way to do it. And I will say, Harrison might be the best 1-3 team in the state of Arkansas right now. I mean, they're a very, very good team. Farmington, 3-1, but they've had their troubles on defense, and I feel like they're vulnerable on the defensive side of the ball. And then they go to Harrison into the Goblin Den, however you want to call that, right? But anyway, Harrison's going to be physical. They're going to play tough. And the Farmington Cardinals have their hands full. And then let's talk about this. I mean, Tommy Ty spent 100 years at Harrison, and so there's always that motivation as well. So it's an interesting matchup there for Farmington, and one for Harrison right now that if they can win that ball game, they're really kind of setting themselves up with Morrilton and Greenbrier kind of getting in that top 3 in that conference.
As we bounce around, we'll head down to the River Valley. Charleston and Mansfield is an underrated game. Mansfield's a tough place to go in and play. I mean, you don't go in there and just expect to win. That's one of those places that if you're not careful, you can come out with a loss.
Oh, conference teams, you've got Charleston, Mansfield, and Boonville in that 3A1 right now. And who's going to come out on top? Right now, I give the edge to Charleston just because of who they've played and who they've beat. They beat a very solid Pottsville team who went down to Mena last week and won 25-6 at Mena. Good win for Pottsville there. And then turned around and in the Franklin County feud and beat Ozark 55-20. And Ozark, I feel like, is on the uptrend. They had just come off a win against Boonville the week before. So right now, Charleston, to me, looks like the team that's the best team in 3A1 right now. Carter Littleman, that guy is one of the best quarterbacks in 3A. And, they just throw an offense that you don't see in 3A that much. They're wide open. They're throwing the ball everywhere. And they've got guys that can catch it. So I like Charleston, but I'll tell you what, Mansfield's tough. They're going to keep it on the ground. They run that wing tee, flex bone, very, very, very physical at the point of attack. And if Mansfield can hold on to the ball control, that sort of thing, they're going to be in a good spot. But I'm telling you, if Charleston has the ball too much, I don't think that Mansfield can stop them.
Now let's look at another matchup between Bigelow and Hector. What do you think about this one, Brad?
Hector is a team that is a surprise. I feel like of one of the surprises of the state right now, sitting at 3-0, actually 4-0. I apologize there. And, Lucas Baker right now is a kid that not a lot of people are talking about. He's got over 700 yards in 4 games, and he's quick. He's fast. About 6'1", 160. A kid that can really go, and right now he's predicating that Hector offense. Hector's a really, really pretty good team, and they've really got a chance here to make a statement against Bigelow. Now, Bigelow is a team that historically Hector has had a lot of trouble with. Bigelow has probably been one of the best 2A programs, if not the best 2A program over a 5-year stretch. But right now they're 1-3, and so Hector is in a prime spot here to start 5-0 for the first time in a long time, and really set themselves up for a matchup with Mount Ida that would decide the conference there. And this is one of 2 real big hurdles for Hector. They've got to win this one. They need to win the Conway Christian game to set themselves up with Mount Ida, and that should be a really good matchup here in the middle of October.
One of the more competitive games, a pair of 3-1 teams getting ready to play. Somebody's getting on the bus today, and it's going to be El Dorado. They're going to head up to Marion. This feels like high scoring but close.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, these are 2 solid teams, really good teams. Really, I feel like evenly matched, I think is probably a good way to put it. El Dorado is a team that you probably know a little bit more about, probably had more success overall. Marion right now came out with a big win. I can't emphasize how much that was a really good win against Sylvan Hills. Sylvan Hills is a team that had lost like 20 in a row. Mark Kelly goes in and turns them around, and offensively they're a juggernaut. They're scoring 50 on everybody. Well, Marion was able to hold them to 43 the other night, and that was enough to get the 46-43 victory. We saw El Dorado against Camden Fairview, very physical at the point of attack, really good run game, solid, heady quarterback, really good system type of kid. I really think that this is a nice matchup. This is going to be a fun one over there in East Arkansas, and it's a long drive from El Dorado to Marion. So at that point, when you're talking about an evenly matched game, you got to give the edge to the home team by just a little bit.
All right, Brad Caldwell is our guest as we look at the high school games on this Football Friday brought to you by Gasano's. You can catch up with Brad and his crew and their coverage on the Arkansas Sports Network.
Got Dirks coming up. And let's hit one more while we got just a second here. England and Hazen, these are 2 1-3 teams that kind of don't feel like they should be 1-3 teams. Talk to me a little bit about that one.
This is a survivor game, in my opinion. The winner of this game can survive and still possibly get into the playoffs. I think the loser, I think they're done. I think there's really no shot for them to get into the playoffs. I think you've got Poen, Carlisle, Bearden, Hampton, all those teams in that conference. So one of these 2 teams is going to be able to hang in there and win and stay in the race, and another one is not. Man, I tell you, I really like Coach Besanken there at Hazen. Always does a good job, always has his team improving, and I already feel like that's what's happening right now with them. Early loss to Desart, big blowout loss, but since then they have come back and played hard. They were able to overcome a deficit against McCrory and win that ball game, and seem like they're getting better week by week.
Well, we've got more games to preview, and we will do that with Brad Caldwell from the Arkansas Sports Network after these important messages. Ruskin and Zach here on ESPN Arkansas Football Friday, brought to you by Gasano's Pizza. Stay with us. Okay, we continue here on this Football Friday, looking at the high school slate of games. Week 5 getting underway, and Brad Caldwell joins us to go over these games, Brad, from the Arkansas Sports Network. All right, so more ground to cover here, Brad. Let's start with Lake Hamilton.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good
one right there.
They are in Fort Smith taking on the Mavs tonight. What do you think?
huge playoff positioning game for both teams. They need to win this one. I think that your pecking order right now in the 6A West, top three, Greenwood, Shiloh, and Mountain Home. And then you got to find the fourth spot at that point. These two are probably battling it out for that one. Lake Hamilton, they're tough. They have survived a good whooping early against Hot Springs Lakeside. Lakeside is a very good football team. They've come back. They've bounced back. They look better. And right now I think they're starting to hit their stride. And, in the 6A, you don't see that wing tee look very often, and you're going to see it against Lake Hamilton. And, Fort Smith Southside's got to be ready to be physical. I mean, that is what Lake Hamilton is all about. They're going to bring it right at you. They're not going to play around too much. And so they are still dynamic, though. They can still throw the football, and they're really, really tough team to prepare for. So Fort Smith Southside definitely has their hands full this week. But again, you're talking about a trip from Hot Springs to Fort Smith, not quite as long as some of the other trips, but still not the easiest way to get to Fort Smith from Hot Springs. There's no easy way to do it, I should say. And so, Lake Hamilton, Fort Smith Southside, really good matchup.
Game I'm actually excited. I won't be able to watch it live, but I will watch it later on. Mountain Home's getting on the bus. They're going over to Shiloh. 4-0 Mountain Home to 3-2 Shiloh. Shiloh, they played their Super Bowl against Greenwood, and now you got to come up against a physical Mountain Home team.
Yeah, the question for Shiloh is, are they going to have a hangover? I feel like they experienced that last year when they played Mountain Home and got beat. Mountain Home's a good, solid football team, and they are, if you're not prepared for them, you're going to lose to them. And so Mountain Home is going to come in guns a-blazing in this one, and we think Shiloh's pretty good. And, yeah, they went down and they lost to Greenwood, but I think Greenwood's getting better right now. And Shiloh has played one heck of a schedule early on in this one. And, I have said on record that I feel like that the Greenwood-Shiloh matchup could be one of two this year, just like it was last year. I think this is go a long way to kind of figure that out, at least for playoff positioning. Mountain Home wins this one. Obviously, they set up to play Greenwood for the 6A West Championship, most likely at some point in the season. So a big game for both teams.
Brad Caldwell, our guest here from the Arkansas Sports Network. Falk is headed to Camden Harmony Grove tonight. Brad, what do you think?
Oh, Falk is a surprise team this year. I think they're a very solid team this year. Camden Harmony Grove, not as much right now. In fact, it may be the other way around. They're 0-4 right now. This is a team that has had some recent success, and just this year, for whatever reason, it's not clicking over there. Falk got beat by Prescott last week, but I'll tell you what, Josh Coggins there of Falk, really good player. He's averaging pretty close to 200 yards a game on the ground. I think Prescott was able to keep him bottled up just a little bit last week in their 26-7 victory. Falk's got an opportunity here to kind of stay in the pace of the conference with a victory. You don't want to stub your toe against an 0-4 team. Prescott there is one of the teams that you got to look at. Bismarck in that conference as well. And last night, Bismarck and Smackover matched up, and that is one of the top two teams right now in that conference. So if Falk wants to stay in it, they've got to win this game tonight.
Pine Bluff's going to get on the bus. They're going to head over to Maumelle. Maumelle was kind of highly thought of, started off 0-2. They come back. They've won their last two games. Pine Bluff comes into this one 1-3. These are those elimination games, especially in smaller classifications. Man, you can't take those losses early in your conference season.
Well, of the playoff or of the conferences that are the classes, I should say, it's 5A and it's 2A, and those are the two that take 4 teams out of each conference. So there's 1 or even 2 less spots depending on what classification you're talking about. So yes, this is an elimination game. When you think about the 5A Central right now, I feel like you're locked in with Searcy, you're locked in with Robinson, and then you've got 2 more spots that you're going to have to fill for playoff spots. Right now, Watson Chapel's probably not going to be that team. Whitehall's probably not going to be that team. So you got right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to John Needham Stadium on the campus of Pottsville High School. We're going to start things off a little early tonight from John Needham Stadium. It is Homecoming 2025 for the Pottsville Apaches. And for the Homecoming celebration festivities, we're going to pick up the live audio from Matt Lee, who is the public address announcer. He will have the introduction of the candidates, the homecoming court, and the actual live announcement of the homecoming queen. Nobody has this information as of yet, so you will get it at the same time everybody else does. As you can see from the field, the candidates for homecoming queen have taken the field. They will have their introduction, and the cheerleading squad is out there, and the homecoming sign here is, it is a nice evening to have homecoming 2025. And once again, I'd hint at who the homecoming queen is, but I don't know. Many moons ago, I used to do the public address announcing at Arkansas Tech University, and they'd always give me that information before, except the last year that I did it. Okay, let's now pick up the public address system here at Pottsville High School.
The values and traditions that make Pottsville so special. So let's celebrate together. Tonight is about school spirit, community, and making memories. Please give me a warm welcome and applause as we begin the presentation of the 2025 Pottsville High School Homecoming Tour. Freshman name, Philippa Peck. Philippa is the daughter of Chris and Sarah Peck. Philippa has attended Pottsville schools since 8th grade. She's a member of the Pottsville Junior High cheer team and also participates in dances. She attends New Life Church. In her free time, she likes to spend time with her friends. She's escorted by her father, Chris Peck. Freshman maid, Philippa Peck. Freshman maid, Addie Trudell. Addie is the daughter of Cameron and Rebecca Trudell. She has attended Pottsville schools since the 8th grade and is on the Pottsville Junior High cheer team. She attends New Life Church. In her free time, she likes to hang out with her friends and shop. Addie is escorted by her father, Cameron Trudell. Freshman maid, Adelia Trudell. Sophomore maid, Emily Douglas. Emily is the daughter of Cliff and Tabitha Douglas and has attended Pottsville schools since the 1st grade. She's a member of Pottsville High School volleyball team and also participates in beta and student council. Emily attends Athens First Will Baptist Church in her free time. She likes to read, watch movies, and listen to music. She's escorted by her father, Cliff Douglas. Sophomore maid, Emily Douglas. Sophomore maid, Bella English. Bella is the daughter of Jimmy and Lisa English and has attended Pottsville schools since kindergarten. She is a member of the Pottsville High School cheerleading, track, and tennis teams, as well as Beta, FBLA, and FFA. She attends the Rock Church and is a member of Elevate Youth Group. In her free time, Belle enjoys hanging out with her friends, spending time with her family, shopping, reading, being outdoors, and watching movies. She's escorted by her father, Jimmy English. Sophomore maid, Bella English. Junior maid, Layla Jo Robinson. Layla Jo is the daughter of Ashley Perry and has attended Pottsville schools since 5th grade. is a member of the Pottsville Apache softball and volleyball teams, as well as Hope Squad, Youth Activation Committee, and Unified. In her free time, she enjoys hanging out with her boyfriend, Dawson Parker, playing softball and volleyball,